Hi guys, it's Miss Kenny here. I hope you guys are enjoying your extended spring break. My virtual lesson for today is going to be about art. This is going to be a pretty easy at-home technique to do a crayon transfer. So all you need is a pack of crayons, a piece of paper or two, and preferably white if you want to see all the colors that you're doing. But it actually doesn't matter what color paper you're doing it on. So you'll need crayons and a pencil. Now, your first step is going to be taking the paper that you're gonna draw your crayon only on. The crayon and the pencil should not go on the same paper. So, you want to decide what colors you wanna do, what kind of pattern you wanna do. I have some finished patterns that I already did. So these are all in crayon. As you can see, there really isn't any sort of special way that you have to go through this. I have lines, I've got like little bursts, I've got a big burst and like tie-dye. It doesn't actually matter. So for this next one that I'm gonna do with you guys, I'm gonna do like a rainbow tie-dye. So you don't have to split your paper into three. I just did this so that you can see that there really is no limit to what you can do. You can do whatever you want. So on my piece of paper, I'm going to tear off a little piece of this one so that I can do my design on just this little piece of paper instead of all of them. So that I have more room for actually drawing and making the transfers. Okay, so I've got my piece of paper and I've got a whole bunch of crayons. I'm gonna do a rainbow. So our rainbow starts with red. So in the center, I am going to draw a cross or a T with the red, just like that. I'm then going to make lines that cross through that to make it like a star. Just like that. Now I know you can't see it very well, but I am coloring pretty heavily with the crayons. You want to make sure that there's enough of the crayon on the paper to leave a transfer on your other piece of paper. So you want to make sure that it is pretty heavy on there. Also, I don't know if you can tell, see those little specks that are on my paper? I am not wiping them off. I'm leaving them there because I want to make sure that there is as much crayon as possible on this piece of paper, so I can do my transfer and be more successful at it. Sometimes crayons can be kind of waxy. So if you have a really waxy color crayon, or maybe it doesn't come out super heavy and it just seems like it's almost clear and transparent, that's okay. It'll still work. The color payoff just won't be quite as much. Certain crayons definitely work better than others. Like in the ones that I have, there are certain colors that work really well and certain ones that don't. So it's just kind of what happens, but it's kind of fun to experiment with all the colors to see what you can do. And even if they are very transparent, they might still work if you were to cover them with a different color, or maybe try to blend some of them together so that it is a little bit heavier of mark making. But that's really up to you. So all I'm doing right now is going through with the different colors of my rainbow, and I am coloring on the outside of the original star that I made. So I'm just going in with each of them. I'm not worrying too much about blending the colors together per se. It doesn't necessarily need to be perfect or anything like this. So I'm on yellow right now. I'm gonna head on to the next color. You don't have to do stars, like I was saying before. You can do, you can make your own drawing completely in crayon and then transfer that to maybe a coloring piece of paper, like a coloring sheet, or you can make words on it. You can make words with this. However, if you're going to try to do lettering, the way that you transfer it normally, when you're done and look at your transfer, the words will be backwards. So you would have to look in a mirror to be able to read what it says, which is kind of fun. You can like leave yourself a note in the bathroom or whoever you want. So now I've got the green, and with this green I'm going to be able to show you guys what I'm talking about when I say that certain crayons work a little better than others. So and out here it's a little hard to see, but do you see how much lighter the green is than the other colors, specifically like the red? So that green, when I go to transfer it, the only thing that it might transfer is the wax, not necessarily the color, which is okay because that actually looks pretty cool too. And the wax is like tinted the color that you wanted. So it's kind of fun to watch that process and to see what crayons have the same kind of outcome and which ones don't. It can be kind of fun to do this. So I am now on blue, so I'm almost completely done. This part is probably the most time consuming of it all, but honestly to me it's the most fun. It's just entertaining to try to blend together different colors and see what colors look really interesting next to each other and trying to find different patterns that you can make. It's a lot of fun. So I'm now finished with blue. So I'm going to move on to the last color, which is purple. So this is what I have so far, which is pretty interesting. Go ahead and just pop the purple on there really fast. When you're coloring and pressing down hard, try not to break your crayons. I've broken a lot of mine in half so far. It's a lot easier to get a really firm and like hard pressure point down when you are holding the crayon vertically and you are just pressing down like on it all, as to where it's all the pressure that you're applying on the crayon is even. That way that it won't break, because I've broke 4 of mine already. So, but then again, they're kind of easier to get to press harder if you break them. But almost completely done with the purple now. As you can see, this part is really time consuming, but it's a good time to maybe have a conversation, listen to some music, maybe think about some of the things that you want to accomplish today. Anything. So this is now the finished design that I have come up with. So I'm going to take my other piece of paper. This is the piece that I just tore this one from. And I'm going to place the white piece of paper on top of the other one, just like so. So where you have 2 pieces of paper. And then you want to smoosh down on that top piece of paper and rub. So that way that it is getting the crayon little bits that I told you not to wipe off. Those are making sure that it is stuck to the white piece of paper. So now I am going to draw a fish. So I'm going to draw the head of the fish. This is going to be a weird fish. It's going to have a fin. You know what? This is actually a really bad fish. So I'm going to have the end fins. Like that. I'm going to give him a little arm fin. I don't know the names of them. It's going to be like a narwhal, and he's going to have a horn. So now you're just drawing. That is it. Make sure that everywhere that you're drawing has a piece of paper that has the crayon underneath it. Otherwise, it won't transfer anything, right? So you're drawing whatever it is that you want. Like I said, if you make words, they'll just be mirrored and backwards. So it kind of is actually a really interesting and kind of fun effect, unless you can write your letters backwards, and then you'll be able to do it without any problem. So the art that you make from this can be really fun if you just do it in a line, but I think that you can come up with some really cool designs if you make patterns in which you have already. So it would be like the pattern of whatever you did in crayon plus the pattern of whatever it is that you're drawing in pencil. So you can actually come up with some really, really intricate, elaborate, really cool looking pieces of art from this. So I am working on his fin right now. My narwhal. It actually looks really cute. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys what I have so far. So this is what I have so far, my little narwhal. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to make some really just interesting lines everywhere. And then I'm going to fill in some of the shapes that we have left so that you can really get a sense of what the transfers can actually do. The other thing that's really cool about this is when you're drawing in the pencil, you really don't have to press down too hard. You can actually have some really interesting effects that are made from lightly pressing your pencil versus pushing down really hard. So I would also recommend to experiment with that and just give it a go on whatever it is that you're thinking of and just try it. Because art is all about taking risks and you never know what's gonna happen. You never know what the outcome is gonna be, but you wanna hope for the best and you wanna do everything you can to make it look super cool. So I'm also gonna add some interesting wiggly lines so that we can see what some of those look like. Patterns can be found literally anywhere. If you want to find some patterns, I think you should look around your house and see if maybe you could find a curtain or maybe a tablecloth or a blanket or even a napkin, a book, anything. Anything that you can find would have a really cool pattern. So I'm actually going to give him a little diamond. And that diamond is going to have a little bubbly design in it. And his belly. Color all this in. Okay. Now I'm also going to write some words so that you guys can see it. We're going to put some stars up here in the background so that you guys can see what just normal shapes would look like. Because it's fun. We've got some cool things. Maybe a heart in the background. Alright, now when you feel like you're done coloring with your pencil, you are going to take it off. And then you have your transfer. You see it? So, as you can see with my words, it is backwards. So, the reason why you can see it right now is because it's on the computer. But look at how fun that is. It's really actually a lot of fun. I poked a hole in my paper because I was pressing a little bit too hard. But you can see how you get the exact same designs from whatever it is that you did here, just in the lines. You can also use this to color in maybe like a coloring page. All you would need to do is have your piece of paper that you want to color on and then your coloring page over that. And then you would trace the lines of the coloring page. I'm going to do that real fast so that you guys can see what that would look like. If you have one, or if you have maybe like a printed picture that you are allowed to draw on, or like a copy of a picture that you are allowed to draw on, that would also be kind of fun. So I'm just drawing this little columbine flower really fast. All right, let's see. And it came up a little bit. It's a little light to see, but I think it's gonna be really fun. And then you also have this really interesting of like, hey look, black and white, and this side's in color. So it's actually really fun. I hope this is something that you guys might wanna try when you're at home for your extended spring break. I can't wait to see you guys again here soon. I miss you all. Wanted to show you guys one that I had done earlier. I don't have the crayons for these ones anymore, so that's why it doesn't look the same as far as like how it turned out. But here is the pencil side. It says I love you. And that is the crayon side. I wanted to leave you guys with this. I hope to see you soon.